Quick disclaimer, there is nothing wrong with being gay. This video is filled with excessive, maybe, gayness. Let's get into some Brandon Tucker versus Moose Man versus Adam 22.
I'm about to give me some sausages.
You sound retarded.
You said Hardy R. Then you said stupid. Some nonsense, and I said maybe it was white blood stirring up in you.
Why would you ask me if I would say the Hardy R?
Because that's what you said.
You don't know what you talking
I heard it, and then I asked you. You both had residual resentment because from what I said about ICE and deportations, you guys still hold on to this thing that I don't like Mexicans.
Let's talk about the fact that you got marked out by a teenage Edgar boy.
Are they even?
Adam.
Sure.
You know you suck at hiring. That's why everybody you hire ends up going to jail or blowing their damn fingers off.
You wrestle niggas on mats. We ain't seen you do nothing with your hands yet.
You protect yourself at all times. You protect it ourselves all time. Touch gloves, go back to professional corners, come out ready to fight. I do this shit. Ready? Let's get ready to rumble! Fight! Fight!
This nigga. He like to wrestle niggas on mats and grab booty cheeks.
Damn.
He like to defend
I like
pedophiles.
booty cheeks, that's for sure.
That shit crazy. He like to
I didn't defend
pedophiles.
anyone.
He like to watch
Let's
wee-wee.
be honest, did I defend the dude?
He like to watch wee-wee.
No, exactly. So you're lying.
like to watch
he said I
wee-wee.
didn't defend him.
He like to watch wee-wee.
I'm just saying, man.
The wee-wee watcher is out of control.
Yeah, so he hasn't
You gotta
uploaded to
get a
his
hold
channel
of
in
it.
6 months.
You bugging today. You watching wee-wees, you fucking with pedos, you got booty shorts on. Today has been a crazy day for you.
I'm going to say what I want to say.
And you
I
watch
call
wee-wees.
this nigga Antoine Dotson a bitch and everything else. I'm still going to come to no jumper. I'm going to walk in and out this bitch. If a nigga want to do something, there's nothing but space and opportunity. Ain't worried about a light-skinned nigga, no nigga, period. So if a nigga's that gay, he's always bringing up fighting. You can't be the nigga bringing up fighting and trying to put it on another nigga to do something.
So,
But I just caught you one. I just caught you one. Just like that. You are a bitch.
Guys. Come on.
All right, so Boochie Man Brandon the Boochie, whatever you want to call him, he's back. They decided to do that whole Brandon versus somebody, throw them into the Brandon tank essentially. Brandon in a way is like a bootleg Sharp, except for the different. Well, there's a lot of difference between Brandon and Sharp, but one of the key differences is their approach to No Jumper. Sharp, he overstayed his welcome in a way, and Brandon, on the other hand, speed ran his. Feel like he could have dragged out his content run a little more. Now he's like not even a temp, but like, oh, we'll bring him on once a month or whatever, once a week on his own shit, which is kind of what the Brandon fans have been asking for. Just give Brandon his own show where he could talk about politics. Now, I don't know about the politic thing working out because it's not even working out on his channel, but we'll get into his channel a little bit later, and I won't be covering the politics stuff. It's actually, of all things, Brandon's food reviews. But so Brandon versus Moose, okay? Brandon has had his handful of debates on the No Jumper platform already. He did have 2 successful ones. One with, the Gorilla Hebrew guy who, to the naked eye doesn't look all that black, but he seems to be very proud in his stances, and they had, a good peaceful back and forth. Then you sit down Brandon with a white racist, a proud white racist, I should say, who's all out in the open about it. But the thing is, Brandon has a lot of racist ideologies as well. So they ended up just kind of being buddies, having a conversation over a cup of coffee. And then you have Brandon with Lush. Lush being the white hope, white savior archetype. Lush cares more about black people, from what it seems like at least, than Brandon does. So there was that debate as well, moderated by the Viral Way, which, Mr. Viral could come off as a borderline extremist sometimes. So that's an interesting dynamic. But now, in Brandon's 4th debate attempt on No Jumper, he's matched up with his worst nightmare, possibly. An articulate, American-born, Mexican man, Moose, or Moose Man. whatever his name is, Moose Knuckle, I don't know. But he came in and it was more than Brandon could handle for their kind of like unscripted debate. There was no preset questions, no preset topics. They just came in and kind of shot off the dome on a live stream with Adam22 moderating. And that's his second worst fear, Brandon's that is a white man that he cannot win over with, you know, trying to appease them, being a kind of like a pick me for the white man. He can't win over Adam with that because Adam falls more in line with being a degenerate, as Brandon would call them being all the people within the No Jumper building that he supposedly hates, despite constantly begging for a spot on the permanent roster and even demanding a pay raise because he feels he brings so much value to the platform, which, you know, that can be debated. But we're not here to debate. We're here to kind of highlight two key moments from the debate where one, of course, Brandon starts off with racism against Mexicans, okay? Then we're going to get into Adam22 kind of crashing out on Brandon and Brandon crashing out in return as well. Let's get into it.
But at least I was an employee. You're someone begging to get on.
The last time you were here, I got you on.
You don't
here.
even
You're
have...
welcome. You're welcome. I brought you out of your shell. I brought you from under your Patrick Rock. I lifted it up and said, Brandon, come on, little guy. I'll get you that raise you're wanting. Come on, the platform.
Man came
Nobody
here.
wanted you on here. We're going to kick you out after, and we're going to do the Tuesday show.
Okay.
How valuable is that? What are we talking about?
This man said he came here just to debate me. Now he's saying I'm here because of him. More liberal lies, more liberal inconsistencies. Moose, I checked all your channels. No one watches you ever. I watched your videos just to see if you had anything interesting to talk about. You're doing food reviews that no one's watching for restaurants that no one wants to.
Brandon is probably the last person that, you know, orbits around No Jumper that should be view shaming anybody. He's not really pulling in the most views. Even when he was at No Jumper, it's damn near laughable numbers that he pulls in, considering he has a channel with a decent amount of subs.
Hey, I got 100K on my Super Taco. Hey, shout out to Super Taco.
I got
free tacos for life.
Bro, I was going to say, he is getting free tacos for life.
No.
Come on, free
Let's
tacos
look
for
at
life.
this.
He's getting free tacos for life.
What do you get for life?
Let's look at this. Let's
Tariq
look at
Nasheed, shout out.
Listen, let's look at this in a legit.
I'm sorry I didn't
They're
grip.
ops. For the right, they're ops.
Okay,
I'm sorry I didn't grip for Tariq
Brandon,
Nasheed.
I have a gift for you coming straight from Destiny's online store. This is a size medium.
Okay, that's dope.
Don't die, buddy. That's my advice.
Listen, okay, so we can talk, but we can't over talk. That's my whole thing. So here's the thing. Do you understand that getting 100,000 views on a Mexican food video when you live in a state with multiple millions of Mexicans, both illegal and legal, you live 10 minutes from Mexico, you're a failure of the Mexican race. They don't even like you.
It's got to be respectable. Come on,
they
man.
won't even watch. You can't get Mexicans to watch a video about Mexican food.
Are you done?
Okay, so not only is Brandon one of the biggest hypocrites and most unserious content creators to ever fire up the YouTube app, I also don't think that Brandon understands how YouTube works. You don't really have to have a close proximity to, you know, like Mexico for a taco review to do some numbers. But I will also say this, you know, props to Moose Man, because doing a review of a random taco shop down the street that's a one-of-one location most likely and getting 100K eyes on that restaurant, that's no small feat. 100K views on any topic is no small feat. That's an accomplishment. Good job, Moose Man. Now, to speak on Brandon and his hypocrisy a little more, Brandon does food content as well. So you would think he would have some appreciation, like, oh, congratulations, you have 100K views on the taco video. But no, instead, Brandon's meticulous research, he thought it would be a good idea to shit on Moose Man for this 100K view video when none of his food videos have even over 1,000 views. Or if they do, it's like barely. He might have one that's at like 1.2. But you guys get the point, okay? Nowhere near 100K views on any of his food videos. So under Brandon's logic, Brandon is a failure of a black man, right? He probably wants to fail out of being black so he can join the white card, but that's not how it works. You're black, and you're black for life, Brandon, and you're a failure of black men under your logic, not under mine, under yours. Because you went to Kenya, you made this video in Kenya, and the people in Kenya don't give a fuck about this video that we're about to play a snippet of, but here's the thumbnail. And you also reviewed some coffee at some coffee shop, I would assume in Long Beach or whatever, somewhere in the LA area, right? And now the coffee one is particularly funny because we get a good look into who Brandon really is, but we have to read between the lines. He's telling this story about essentially changing this black coffee barista lady's life, right? I changed the black barista's life. I complained enough for months straight that she doesn't put as much effort as the rest of the employees. He goes on a whole rant. Go watch the full video on this channel if you want to see his whole little 4-minute rant about the barista not drawing in the coffee. But basically he wants latte art, and the black employee is the only one that doesn't give the latte art. So he was a Karen for a month or two until she finally started trying to put latte art. So this is a special latte. Man, pause. This dude is bitching and complaining about not having drawings in his little cup of coffee. Oh my God, bro. If I was working at that coffee shop, I would probably quit. Like, oh, you fucking kidding me? You're bitching every day that there's no art in the latte? Seriously? You're a grown-ass man. Drink a cup of black coffee and get the fuck on about your day.
This is Mr. Mombasa right here. Why don't they call you Mr. Melindy? But you guys, I'm gonna enjoy my food right now. Sorry if my camera lost focus, but it's time to eat. I'm gonna enjoy this peaceful scenery. I'm about to give me some sausages. What's up, guys? Just at the coffee shop, as I usually am. You know, I gotta start the morning off with a nice hot cup of coffee, preferably a latte.
Don't forget to flick your fucking wrist while you're at it, Mr. Latte.
And I just had to make a quick video about this particular latte art right here. You can't even see it, so let me show it to you. This art, it's a little bit messy now, but it was much better in the picture before I started drinking it. But this latte art is special. And you might say, or you might be asking yourself, Brandon, what's so special about this latte art as compared to all other latte art? This latte art is special because there's a black or African American woman who works at this coffee shop. And when I first started coming here, she would always serve me my latte, and it would have no latte art. So
100,000 watched,
and we have millions.
100,000 out of millions. And that's less than 1/100%.
That's so hilarious.
That's one.
You guy, there's millions of black people in California. You get 30 live viewers.
How many?
With 20,000 subscribers, and you are been on No Jumper for over a year.
How
you are
many?
The content creator equivalent of a TF third. People that don't do shit outside of No Jumper.
Okay, so look,
like cut it out, bro. You get 30 live viewers.
How many black people are in California?
You know, Moose Man ended up going on the No Jumper News the day after this appearance for this debate. And he said he wishes he wasn't as angry in the beginning parts of it. And I see he was kind of overly angry. I don't know why he even entertained this conversation. He should have just been like, let's get into the fucking, reason why we're here, which is to really debate, not just attack each other and each other's accolades. Because if it's just accolade for accolade, Brandon, you're losing that to a lot of people when it comes to YouTube. Buying land in Africa and all that, that's cool, bro. I'm not gonna knock that, but you shouldn't really be trying to have the numbers debate with anybody because the numbers are not in your favor.
How many black people are in California? 2 million?
And you get 30 of them. You gather 30 of them in
30 million Hispanics?
There's over 10 million.
Okay, I watched your videos, bro. No one watches you.
Nobody
has
only got a video of you
eating
me to
food.
be reasonable.
If I went and
Nobody has to watch my videos for me to be reasonable.
If I went and did a video about eating some food, yeah, I could get a bunch of subscribers. Go to a famous place, go put some food in front of the table and eat it. Bro, you did.
Rewind about a minute to a minute and a half. He does food reviews, y'all. And now he added that famous place caveat because I think he just flashed back into his mind and realized that he has several food videos on his channel. But also on a side note, so Brandon at some point in this debate, he ends up like saying that Moose Man is built perfectly to pick strawberries, which is crazy. One, because Brandon is lower to the ground than gosh, I almost called him Moose Knuckle. Excuse me. Than Moose Man. He's lower to the ground than Moose Man, right? So technically, wouldn't Brandon actually be built better to pick strawberries and/or other soft white items that might be able to make a good T-shirt? And this is coming from a black man, but Brandon is just he's a disgusting individual, and his hypocrisy is ridiculous. So on the note of hypocrisy, Brandon, if you guys go and look at his channel, like I'm telling you to do, go and watch him acquire land in Kenya. He points out a freaking mud hut. And he's like, there's some people staying here right now, but we're gonna get that situated. So he like bought some land. He's gonna evict these people out of their fucking mud hut so he can build a little African mansion.
Everybody, so we are in the process of walking this shamba, and it is big. This is just a little homestead area. We have some people here staying for right now. As we begin to develop, that will be addressed as to what we want to do. But you see all that behind us? This is all
for his retreats that he goes on, and he gets to walk around barefoot and eat some sausages. But my point is that not the same thing as, people coming from Mexico or wherever they come from and working and sending money back home to their native land, or even being, a first or second generation American, but sending money back to your native land. I say native land because Jamaicans do this, Belizeans do this, Argentinians do this, Mexicans do it. A lot of people do it. Brandon's native land is America, right? It's Long Beach. He said his grandfather built the house in Long Beach with his bare hands or some wild shit. So you're going out of your way to replicate the Mexican culture within your own household.
You did a video of no substance, a Mexican selling Mexican food to Mexicans. That's the only video.
Everyone likes food.
That's the only video where you got views. That's it.
300,000 views on the food community. Shout out to the food community on my N-word take.
How did it go for 100? How did it go from 100 for food to 300,000?
Look it up. You voted on my poll before this for yourself, Brandon.
You got
You
that.
put Brandon W in my poll. You voted. You're on my Instagram. You saw it.
I voted on what? Tucked him into Hogwarts.
You're welcome.
Shirt,
Bro. You're welcome. This is my.
No, that shirt is gay. You never played rugby a day in your life.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Look at those shoulders.
I was a hooker.
You're built like somebody who picks strawberries, bro. Stop it.
I was a left hooker.
You got long arms for picking
production. Put me in a pass pro against you, and I'm shutting you down.
Put you in a what?
Bull rush.
Put you in a what?
Put me in a pass pro. Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. I will shut your ass down. Adam could be the quarterback.
You won't stop. You won't stop anything. You won't stop anything. No one believes that,
man. Hit you with that.
Well, how much money you want to bet? How much money would you like to bet? We could do that.
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay. How much you want to bet?
500. 500.
We could do 500. You never stopping me, please.
We could do that.
Please.
I don't care how much you press.
We could do that. Let's do that for 500.
We could do that.
All right, so they got the personal attacks out of the way, or at least so we thought. But Adam is the moderator here in this debate, this so-called debate. Now, keep in mind, this is no jumper that we're talking about. So it's not like they're going to necessarily follow all the rules and structures to a debate. When Brandon debated the racist white man, not only was it just two racist guys, just having a conversation, there's not much of a debate when both people are racist. But on top of that, the moderation aspect wasn't really a factor because, it's no jumper. Do we really need a true moderator? Even when Complex had Everyday Struggle, Nadeska would often get criticism for not just moderating. She would always want to get her opinion off. Who gives a damn? We're watching so-called urban media. We don't gotta follow all the fucking rules in the urban space, okay? That would take away from the true nature of the content, from the heart of the content. This is people in the garage shooting the shit at the end of the day. When No Jumper says we're gonna have a debate show, I picture it as one homie on this side of the garage, one homie on that side of the garage. They just got done smoking a fucking blunt together, and they were watching something and ended up getting into an argument over what they were watching. It goes on for a while. There might be some yelling and shit. There might even be some hands thrown, depending on what type of relationship you got with your homies. But then what happens? The next day, they're right back smoking in the same garage, chilling, talking about LeBron or Kobe, who's better. It don't even always got to be, political topics. Don't take yourself too fucking serious. Throw two dudes in here and have them debate who's the best rapper of all time. People will tune in, I think. I could be wrong, but that's what No Jumper is at the end of the day, right? They got the underground show that kind of brings back the vibes of the early days of No Jumper. And shit, those guys could probably debate who's the best, underground rapper right now. Whatever the case may be. Homie shooting the shit. There is still, that is a dynamic at play. But also, since these people aren't necessarily friends, and Adam's the moderator, in quotes, he's the moderator, he's about to join the debate. He's about to pull in Nadeska, interject his own opinion on the topic. It's a pretty touchy topic. And he's going to end up trading insults back and forth with Brandon. Check it out.
Let's look at. I don't want you to.
It's making it a felony.
I don't want you to interrupt
for soliciting minors.
For the sake of clarity, California House Democrats block bill to make buying 16 and 17-year-old girls for sex a felony.
And because they're saying that
I want you to let the truth.
Overreach was too strong in the bill. They're saying that relationships for 18 to 17-year-olds would be in trouble, and they could lock up innocent people that are in consensual relationships. That's what their problem was.
If you are a person in a Romeo and Juliet relationship with someone who's a year or two younger than you, you're not buying them for sex, Moose. What you are doing right now is you're purposely trying to misrepresent what happened so you can protect Democrats. I'm not going to protect Republican pedophiles. That's why when you
literally just said it's not a big deal for political gain.
No. That's not what I said.
Yes,
I said what we have to accept is there's pedophiles on both sides.
And we shouldn't bring them to justice?
And we should.
Well, why don't you criticize Trump for not doing that?
I was criticizing Trump.
You just
and then the day after I criticized him, he called for the Epstein files to be released. But I want you to go back up.
Calls in an
I can tell you, okay, so yes, California Assembly Democrats initially blocked a bill provision that would have automatically made it a felony to buy sex from 16 or 17-year-olds. However, after significant public and political pressure, including from Governor Newsom, a compromise was reached and a new version of the bill was passed and signed into law. But the initial controversy was because...
Can we stop there? Wait, real quick.
The automatic felony provision...
Audience, this is liberals for you. The truth comes out and they automatically start explaining, but they're telling me I'm protecting. Now watch as these two people protect and try to minimize this situation.
Does this not sound reasonable to you? Concerns raised by some Democrats included potential unintended consequences such as disproportionately targeting young adults ages to 18 to 20 in consensual relationships with older teens 16 to 17.
Can you stop there?
Or potentially impacting minority and LGBT individuals differently. I mean, does that not seem like a reasonable concern?
Guys, do you hear the protection of pedophiles? What? No, let me ask you.
But you saying that makes you sound like an idiot.
No, it doesn't.
Obviously, neither of us are interested in protecting pedophiles.
Well, then,
so when you say that, you sound like a fucking clown to both us and
you sound like a fucking clown because you are insinuating that...
You sound like a fucking idiot because you're refusing to pay attention to any kind of nuance regarding this issue.
You're reading something.
We're reading the whole issue. You have the information in front of us and you're trying to shove a false narrative down our throats.
Okay, so
now I would appreciate... Brandon, I would appreciate if you would argue in a more honest
moderator
manner,
is now
we just read what the actual context of this is.
The moderator is now debating for the debate. The other debate.
You're lying, bro, and you've been lying since the beginning of this debate.
Literally,
and it's like if I wasn't calling you out for lying, then we would just be listening to you lie this whole time.
Listen, man,
you're arguing in favor of your ability to lie.
You're going to see who protects pedophiles.
No, exactly. That right there, you putting that kind of accusation on Moose Bruce and I is ridiculous.
That's what he said first. He said I do it. All right, man.
No, he didn't.
Trump's
This guy never saw a day where he wasn't biased. Listen, no 16, listen, no 14, no one between the age of 14 and 18 who is in a romantic relationship is buying someone for sex.
Nobody even suggested.
Can we go back? Can we
named.
please scroll back to the top and look at the mental gymnastics that they both had to do? The bill makes it a felony to buy someone who is underage for sex.
So
and what
just to spell this out more, since you're intentionally disregarding it, do you think that a guy who's 18 that is in a relationship with a 17-year-old should become a felony automatically?
That is not what
and
the
do you
bill...
not think that no, that is the concern that they raised about?
Bro, if you go back to the top of the bill is for people who attempt to give money to buy a underage person for sex. If you
Concerns raised by some Democrats include potential unintended consequences, such as disproportionately targeting young adults.
Now that is an interesting argument on both sides. What comes to mind for me is how there's certain states where the age of consent is lower than in other states, such as Alabama or something like that is 16 or 17. New York famously 17. California 18. So what comes to mind is, on the right, and on the left, you have places where the age of consent is lower than 18. Being a lifelong Californian, I feel like the age of consent should be 18, maybe even 21. And it should be the same in every state, all 50 of them. I think that would make the most sense. Why is it different in some places than it is in others? I don't really understand that at all. And I feel like that opens the door for, if you're a weirdo that lives, let's say, in San Francisco, what's to stop somebody from hopping on a plane every 3 months to go to Alabama and be, a 16-year-old, 17-year-old sex tourist? Because on that particular state line, it's legal. Then you cross the freeway over to the neighboring state, and now it's illegal. That doesn't make any sense. I've talked about this in length in other videos involving this age of consent type of topic, is what this essentially is talking about, where there's like a rolling scale with what Romeo and Juliet laws or whatever. That's something I was raised, and a lot of us were raised in California to, hey, if you don't want to have to do all that mental gymnastics, just don't date somebody who's under 18 if you are over 18. Now, for the people that, were seniors in high school, they were 17 when they started dating their girlfriend, who's a junior or whatever, who's 16 or something like that. And then when you become 18, the law is in place so that they don't have to feel like, I got to break up with my girlfriend that I've been dating for the last year or whatever the scenario is. Scenarios like that is where you kind of get excused. You're not labeled a pedophile and put in jail. And basically what Adam was trying to read on that last line is that some people who weren't necessarily on some weird shit and they genuinely caught feelings while they were 17 with the 16-year-old, and then when you turned 18, the 16-year-old is still 16 or 17, you don't have to go to freaking jail over it. That is pretty logical. And it seems that they were trying to read the AI overview that's just explaining that people that, met their partner before both people were of age of consent, right? They were both, one was 17, one was 16, that whole scenario. Then one turns 18. Those people, if they were getting, swept up under this law, that, sounds like it would be kind of surprising, but apparently it was happening enough for them to change the law back to, or, whatever. It is kind of interesting. I could see why Brandon has some pushback, because it's like, well, that's where you have to do the research, though. Like, okay, where's the cases of this happening? Where can we find documentation of, somebody was a junior and a senior, and then the senior is now 18, but then they got, like, how that is crazy. How would you get caught up for you know, solicitation of a minor or something like that, if you have all the proofs that you were dating when you were 17 and she was 16, and then you turned 18 and she's still 16 or 17, where would the confusion come about in a legal process? That is valid pushback. It's just the way Brandon went about the pushback. You can't really have a structured debate with that type of energy. As soon as you start throwing out insults and you know, over talking people, talking over the moderation, talking over your opponent, you automatically lose a debate and an actual structured debate. But again, like I said, this should never be viewed as a real structured debate. This is no jumper. And this is the end of the video. So thank you for watching. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Hit that like button if you want to help the channel continue to grow. Leave a comment if you're feeling social. Even if you hate me, hate comments are welcomed here. And hey, come back and lurk the comments. Brandon does occasionally comment on these videos. He might be looking to argue with some of you guys. If you feel like having your energy drained, go ahead and argue with him. But yeah, peace.